I was live on the air when the governor's first tweet went out basically announcing that this had happened.
I don't think anyone had any clue what was going on. We just knew that there was a leak at Freedom.
What the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it.
West Virginia American Water, and the governor's office issued the do not use notice.
Which is different than a boil water advisory, which is, I think, what a lot of people maybe wondered at first. Is this just a boil water advisory? We get those all the time. And it quickly became clear this was not a boil water advisory. This was something much more serious.
Or the ban on using using the water for anything except to flush the toilet or to put out fires.
I think that anytime you have media affected directly by what they're reporting, it adds a sense of immediacy and urgency to their job and the way they go about doing their job.
It was extremely bizarre. I think that one of the things that makes a story like this particularly unique is that oftentimes whenever you're reporting something happens and you either go there or you make phone calls and are interacting with the situation but not necessarily involved. With this, anyone that lived in Charleston or the 9 counties that were affected were directly involved, including all the media.
This was not handled well, in my opinion, at multiple levels.
Of course, we found out later, as time went on, in the coming days and weeks, what regulations did or didn't exist, what types of enforcement of the existing regulations were even being enforced.
There really hadn't been an oversight process for above ground storage facilities in West Virginia. And the tank bill, which turned into a law, is a step in the right direction to ensuring that there is proper oversight and continued maintenance of those facilities that hopefully will keep something like this from happening again.
We don't know as much about our waterways as we probably should.
It was clear almost immediately that no one was prepared for something like that to happen.
This was a chemical that we knew about and had been a part of the coal industry and the cleaning process for a number of years, but had not been studied very extensively. So we didn't have a lot of information from the scientific community to start with.
Scientists like me, we can sample streams every day, all day, everywhere, and we do, right? But if residents in these areas aren't aware of it, or if it doesn't become part of what they're conscious of, it has less value. And I can tell other scientists what I'm finding, but again, until the public becomes aware of what's around them, the science has less value.
I think people really need to advocate for their own safety and for their community's safety and be informed and hold people accountable.
We have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here.
I think there were so many questions about exactly what was in the water that initially, whenever they said go ahead and flush, that I will say this. I think from an economic standpoint, there were so many people that couldn't go out and afford to go get a hotel room, couldn't afford to go drive 30, 40, 50 miles to another place to take a shower, to do their laundry, to do the necessities with water, that I think that because of that situation, people just had to go ahead and use it.